Hi, welcome to English Hamster. Are you learning English? Great. Here we learn through stories. They are simple and interesting. You can improve English while learning knowledge. Remember to subscribe, like and comment. Let's get started.
Hello everyone. Welcome to our channel. Today we are going on a big trip. We are going back in time. We are traveling deep into the green jungles of Central America. Imagine you are walking through very tall trees. It is hot and wet. Suddenly you see a giant mountain made of stone. But it is not a mountain. It is a pyramid. It is very old and very tall. Who built this? How did they do it without modern machines? This is the world of the Maya. The Maya are one of the most interesting groups of people in history. For a long time, their cities were hidden under trees and leaves. People forgot they were there. But today, we are finding their secrets again. In this video, we will learn about how they lived, what they ate, and why their great cities became empty. Can you imagine living in a city with thousands of people, but no cars, no phones, and no metal tools? The Maya did it. They were very smart. They looked at the stars and built amazing things. Let us start our journey into the deep secrets of the jungle. Before we look at the stories, we need to understand the big picture. Where and when did the Maya live? The Maya lived in a place we now call Mesoamerica. This includes countries like Mexico, Guatemala, Belize, and Honduras. They did not have one single king for the whole land. Instead, they had many different cities. Each city was like its own small country. We call this a city-state. This means every city had its own leader and its own laws. The Maya lived a long time ago. Their best time, which we call the Classic Period, was from the year 250 to the year 900. During these hundreds of years, they built huge stone buildings. They created a very difficult way of writing. They used pictures to tell stories. This is called a writing system. It is a way to put words on paper or stone so people can read them later. The jungle was their home. Many people think the jungle is a hard place to live. There are many wild animals like jaguars and snakes. There are many bugs, but the Maya loved the jungle. They knew how to use the rain and the soil to grow food. Their most important food was corn. They also grew beans and peppers. They even found a way to make chocolate from a tree. Can you believe that? The Maya were some of the first people in the world to enjoy chocolate. But they did not eat it as a sweet candy bar. They drank it as a spicy drink. The Maya were also great scientists. They did not have telescopes, but they knew a lot about space. They watched the sun, the moon, and the stars every night. They used this information to make a calendar. A calendar is a tool to keep track of days and months. Their calendar was very correct. It helped them know when to plant their corn and when to have big parties for their gods. Religion was very important to them. They believed that gods controlled the rain and the sun. To keep the gods happy, the Maya built the big pyramids we see today. These pyramids were like tall stairs to reach the sky. Let us talk about a boy named Can. Can lives in a small village near a big Maya city. It is early in the morning. The sun is just starting to rise. Can wakes up on a simple bed made of wood and grass. His house is small and round. The walls are made of mud and the roof is made of dry leaves. Can does not go to a school like you do. His school is the field. Can's father calls him. Today is a big day. They are going to the great city of Tikal. Tikal is one of the largest Maya cities. Can is excited because he wants to see the king. The Maya called their king the Kayuhul Ajo. This means Holy Lord. The people believed the king could talk to the gods. As Can and his father walk to the city, they carry heavy bags of corn. They want to trade their corn for salt and cloth. Trade means to give something you have to get something you need. In the Maya world, they did not use money like we do today. Sometimes they used cocoa beans as money. Imagine buying a toy with chocolate. When they arrive at Tikal, Can is shocked. The city is loud and full of color. The big stone buildings are not gray like they are today. They are painted bright red and blue. There are thousands of people in the market. Can sees people selling beautiful feathers, green stones called jade, and colorful clothes. He sees men wearing big hats with feathers from a bird called the quetzal. These birds have very long green tails. Only important people can wear these feathers. In the middle of the city, Can sees the Great Pyramid. It is so high it touches the clouds. At the top, there is a small room. Can's father tells him that the king is inside talking to the spirits. The Maya believed that their ancestors, the people in their family who died a long time ago, could still help them. The king was the bridge between the living and the dead. Suddenly, Can hears a loud sound. It is a drum. A group of men are walking to a special place in the city. They are going to play a game. This is not just a normal game. It is the Maya ball game. The Maya called it pits. It was a very important part of their life. The ball game was played on a long court with high stone walls. The players used a big ball made of rubber. This ball was very heavy and hard. If it hit you, it could hurt a lot. The goal of the game was to keep the ball in the air. But here is the difficult part. The players could not use their hands or their feet. They could only use their hips, their knees, and their elbows. Can you imagine trying to hit a heavy ball with only your hip? It was very difficult and required a lot of skill. Can watches the players. They move fast. They jump and dive on the stone floor. They wear leather pads to protect their bodies. Can's father explains that this game is not just for fun. It is a story about the sun and the moon. The Maya believed that the ball was like the sun moving across the sky. Sometimes, after a very important game, there was a big ceremony for the gods. After the game, Can and his father walk to a different part of the city. They see a man sitting on the ground with a long piece of paper made from tree bark. This man is a scribe. A scribe is a person whose job is to write things down. He is drawing small pictures in a book. These pictures are called glyphs. Each glyph is a word or a sound. Can looks at the book. It has stories about the history of the city and the family of the king. Most people in the village cannot read these pictures. Only the scribes and the rich people know how to do it. Can's father buys some salt and a new stone tool for the kitchen. As the sun begins to set, the city becomes a bit more quiet. The red paint on the pyramids looks like fire in the evening light. Can feels small next to the giant buildings. He wonders if these stone cities will last forever. He thinks about the gods and the stars. He knows that tomorrow he will be back in the cornfield, but today he saw the magic of the Maya. Now let's leave Can's village and look at how the Maya lived in their homes every day. Most Maya people were farmers. They did not live in the big stone palaces. Those were for the kings and the rich families. The farmers lived in small houses made of sticks and mud. They had a small garden near the house. In this garden, they grew papaya, avocado, and many types of flowers. The Maya family was very close. Usually a mother, a father, their children. And even the grandparents lived together in one or two small buildings. They woke up very early, before the sun was high in the sky. The mothers would start the day by making tortillas. A tortilla is a flat bread made of corn. They used a heavy stone called a metate to grind the corn into a soft dough. Can you hear the sound of the stone hitting the corn? It was the sound of every Maya morning. The men went to the fields. They used a simple tool called a digging stick. They did not have horses or cows to help them pull heavy tools. Everything was done by hand. This is called manual labor. It means working with your own body and your own strength. Because it was very hot, they wore simple clothes made of cotton. Men wore a small cloth around their waist, and women wore a long, loose dress called a huipil. Even today, if you visit Guatemala or Mexico, you can see Maya women wearing beautiful huipils with colorful patterns. Education was different for boys and girls. Girls stayed with their mothers. They learned how to weave cloth. Weaving is the way you turn thin strings into a large piece of fabric for clothes. Maya weaving was famous because the colors were so bright. They used insects and plants to make red, blue, and yellow dyes. Boys went with their fathers to learn how to farm, how to hunt deer and wild birds, and how to build houses. But what about the rich people? Life in the palace was very different. The rich Maya, or the nobles, had a lot of free time. Nobles are people who belong to a high social class, usually because of their family. They spent a lot of time making themselves look beautiful. The Maya had a very specific idea of beauty. They liked long heads and flat foreheads. When a baby was born into a noble family, the parents would press two boards against the baby's head to change its shape. They also liked it when eyes were crossed. They would hang a little ball of wax between a child's eyes so the child would look at it and develop crossed eyes. To the Maya, this was a sign of great beauty and high status. The nobles also loved jewelry. They wore heavy earrings and necklaces made of jade. Jade is a very hard, green stone. It was more valuable to the Maya than gold. They thought the green color of jade looked like the green of the corn plants and the jungle. It was the color of life. Let's talk about a very famous Maya city called Chichen Itza. It is in the north, in a place called the Yucatan. This part of the land is very flat and very dry. There are no big rivers on the surface. So, how did the people get water to drink? The answer is underground. In the Yucatan, there are many natural deep holes in the ground filled with fresh water. These are called cenotes. A cenote is like a natural swimming pool or a deep well. To the Maya, cenotes were more than just a place to get water. They were sacred. Sacred means something is very holy and connected to the gods. The Maya believed that cenotes were the entrance to the underworld. The underworld was a place called Xibalba, where the gods of death lived. Archaeologists, who are people that study old things from the past, have found many treasures inside these cenotes. They found gold, jade, and even old bones. The Maya threw these things into the water to say thank you to the gods or to ask for rain. Chichen Itza is also home to a very famous pyramid called El Castillo. It has 4 sides, and each side has 91 steps. If you add the top platform, there are 365 steps in total. Does that number sound familiar? Yes, it is the number of days in 1 year. This shows us again how much the Maya knew about time, but the coolest thing about this pyramid happens only twice a year. During the spring and the autumn, when the sun is in a special place, the shadows on the stairs look like a giant snake crawling down the building. This snake represents a god named Kukulkan. Thousands of people used to gather at the bottom of the pyramid to watch the snake of light and shadow. They believed the god was coming down to earth to help them. While the people in the north were building Chichen Itza, something strange started to happen in the south. Cities like Tikal and Palenque began to change. Life was becoming difficult. This leads us to one of the biggest mysteries in history, the Maya collapse. A collapse is when a whole system or a whole society falls apart and stops working. Around the year 900, many Maya cities in the jungle were abandoned. Abandoned means everyone left and no one lived there anymore. Why did they leave? For a long time, no one knew. People thought maybe there was a big war or maybe a disease made everyone sick. Today, scientists think it was a mix of many things. One big reason was the environment. The environment is the natural world around us, including the trees, the water, and the air. The Maya were very good at farming, but they grew too large. There were too many people and not enough food. They cut down too many trees to build their pyramids and to plant more corn. When you cut down all the trees, the rain stops falling as much. This is called a drought. A drought is a long time with no rain. Without rain, the corn died. Without corn, the people were hungry. When people are hungry, they get angry at their leaders. The kings promised that the gods would bring rain, but the rain did not come. The people lost their trust in the kings. Small wars started between the cities as they fought for the little food that was left. One by one, the great cities of the jungle became quiet. The people moved away to smaller villages or to the north. The jungle slowly grew over the red pyramids. The green leaves covered the stone faces of the kings. The secrets of the Maya were hidden for hundreds of years. Even though the big cities in the jungle were empty, the Maya people did not disappear. They moved to new places. Some went to the mountains and others stayed in the north. They continued to speak their languages and grow their corn. But then, in the year 1511, something new happened. Strange ships appeared on the ocean. These ships came from a faraway place called Europe. The people on the ships were the Spanish. The Spanish had many things the Maya had never seen before. They had big animals called horses. They had shiny metal called steel for their swords, and they had guns. The Maya were brave, but it was a very difficult time. The Spanish wanted to change the Maya. They wanted them to change their religion and their way of life. One of the most famous stories from this time is about a man named Diego de Landa. He was a Spanish priest. A priest is a religious leader. He wanted the Maya to stop believing in their old gods. He saw the Maya books, the ones with the beautiful picture writing, and he thought they were bad. In a very sad moment in history, he burned hundreds of these books. Imagine a whole library of history and science turning into smoke. Because of this, we lost many secrets of the Maya. Only 4 of their original books exist today. We call these books codices. However, the Maya were very strong. They did not forget who they were. They mixed their old traditions with the new things from the Spanish. For example, they still used the same colorful patterns in their weaving, but they started to use wool from sheep. They still ate their corn and beans, but they added new spices. In the 1800s, people from Europe and America started to hear stories about giant stone cities hidden in the jungle. 2 men, John Lloyd Stevens and Frederick Catherwood, decided to go and look for them. They had to cut through thick vines and fight many bugs. When they found the ruins of the city of Kapan, they were amazed. A ruin is a building that is broken and very old. Catherwood drew beautiful pictures of the stone faces and the tall pyramids. When these pictures were published in books, the whole world became interested in the Maya again. Since then, we have learned so much. We learned how to read their picture writing. We found out that their kings were not just leaders, but also great poets and artists. We found that they used a special zero in their math. Many other cultures at that time did not have a symbol for zero. This helped the Maya do very complex math. Today, we are even using lasers from airplanes to look through the trees. These lasers show us that the Maya cities were even bigger than we thought. There are still thousands of buildings waiting to be found under the leaves. The Maya are not just a group from the past. Today, there are more than 6 million Maya people living in Central America and Mexico. They still speak more than 30 different Maya languages. When you hear them speak, you are hearing the same sounds that can heard in the market of Tikal 1,000 years ago. The Maya taught us a lot about the world. Their calendar showed us how to watch the stars. Their farming showed us how to live in the jungle, but they also gave us a warning. Their story shows us that even the biggest and most beautiful cities can fall if we do not take care of the land and the water. We must protect our environment so our cities can last a long time, too. Also, every time you eat a piece of chocolate or a corn tortilla, you should think of the Maya. They were the first to find these wonderful foods. They turned the wild plants of the jungle into things that the whole world loves today. Their art, their math, and their stories are a gift to all of us. We have traveled a long way today. We saw the giant pyramids, watched the heavy ball game, and learned about the mystery of the empty cities. The Maya were a people of great intelligence and mystery. Their secrets are still being found deep in the green jungle.
Hey, if you learned something new today, please give this video a like. Write your thoughts in the comments and subscribe to the channel. It only takes a second and it really helps to create more English videos for you. Thank you. See you next time. Bye.